Good time zones, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Monster Mile Dover International Raceway. Ladies and gentlemen, we are excited to have you here on the Racers Elite Network as round number 3 for the Tuesday Night Truck Series tackles this 1 mile high bank of Dover, right here on the Racers Elite Network, powered by iRacing. And ladies and gentlemen, we have 165 laps of heart-pounding racing coming right to you right now. And let me tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, if you have missed the first 2 races of this season, you guys have missed some really good side-by-side, head-to-head action here for the Racers Elite Truck Series. Today, I'm Mike Taylor up here in the booth. And normally, I would have Emmett Crow with me, but he had something pop up that he had to take care of. So he will be returning next week when we return right here on Racers Elite Network, as we head over to Charlotte Motor Speedway on June 18th. So we can't wait to see Emmett return for that. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and take a quick look here at our current point standings for the Racers Elite Tuesday Night Truck Series. Let's take a look here, ladies and gentlemen. Sean Dunaway, he is on top in the trucks once again with 2 wins. Wait a second, that is definitely not the correct standings. Oh ho ho. My bad. That was last year's standings. Now that we've got it up to date, ladies and gentlemen, Blair Holloman, he will lead the field 5 points for Zoo Yost Racing, as he has 5 points over Brandon Sanfilippo. And 1 point back goes to Kensley Smith, who also has 1 race win here, which came at the season opener. And Alex Teft and Aaron Roth will round out your top 5 here early on in the season for your truck series. And let me tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, we have 160 laps of heart pounding fun coming straight at you. And while we wait for everything to come into play, ladies and gentlemen, we got Alex Gates getting ready to take to the track in his number 77 United States Marine Chevrolet. As you see him get up there on the over this 1 mile concrete. You guys, it is an absolute beast in its own right. The line, he will put down number 32.190. Oh, a little bit looser out of turn 2. Let's see if he can. Oh, he loses it at the line. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I am just trying to do a little bit of a mic check here. We're just trying out a couple things here, see if I can get some sound to make myself sound good here on the mic here for you guys. As we see Aaron Roth, he'll go ahead and come to a complete stop. Alrighty. Sophie, welcome in. How are you doing today? By the way, in case you guys didn't read my messages yesterday, Monday is your birthday. Yo, Sophie, happy birthday. I didn't get to see your message, so I kind of feel bad. But Monday is your birthday. Heck yeah. Sounds good so far. Alright, thank you, Sunshine. By the way, Crystal, Sophie, Crystal, aka Sunshine. That's my better half. She puts up with my shenanigans every single night, so I gotta give her some sort of a shout out too. But Sophie, I hope you're doing well. Alright. We are still here in our qualifying session. Andrew Teft is out on track. So that's going to be classes for Andrew Teft. Oh no, he did better his lap time. According to my chart, that threw him on top of the leaderboard with a 23.102, and that is Andrew Teft for you, ladies and gentlemen. Blair Holloman, he's now working his second lap. As you see, Blair Holloman his way out of turn number 4 to complete his second lap time. And that will place him 6th up on the board in that number 32 Marshall truck. You are so very welcome, Sophie. You want me to turn down the cars just a little bit? No problem. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, this is where it's going to get very interesting. We are going to get ready to do our starting lineup here for today's race here at Dover. So let's go ahead and quickly get into our starting grid. Ladies and gentlemen, starting on the pole, driver that number 98 Road Ranger Ford F-150 is going to be Andrew Teft. On his outside is going to be the number 12 of Brandon Sanfilippo. Driver of that number 77 Alex Gates will be on the inside of row number 2. Brandon Zimmerman in the number 65 on his outside. Inside row number 3, it's going to be your defending champion, the 01 of Sean Dunaway, and Blair Holloman, last week's winner, will be on his outside. Row number 4, the number 8 of Curtis Ecker. He'll be joined by Brian LaPratt in that number 101 machine. Inside row number 5, that colorful number 99 of Philip Archibald. He'll be joined by the Coca-Cola driver, number 15, Kensley Smith. Driver of that number 55 Rebel machine. He's going to be on the inside here of Truth Hope. I'm sorry, the 55 Truth Hope. To his outside, the 57 of Aaron Roth. The number 11 of Joe Bonner will be on the inside of row number 7. To his outside, the McDonald's number 33 of Alan Wild. On the inside of row number 8, driver the number 42 machine for Digital Grids, John Stidham. To his outside, the 24 of Joshua Norton. Inside row number 9, you got the number 23 of Frank Chavez. And joining him on row 9 is going to be Chris Gotzel in his number 707 machine. The number 13 of Robert Garcia will be on the inside of row number 10. And starting to his outside, it's the number 92 of Timothy Eisburn. Inside of row number 11, you got Troy Thomas in that number 88 machine. He's going to be joined by Racer Elite's Kirby Wainscott in the number 10. Inside row number 12, Alex Steph in his number 43. He'll be joined by the Grizzly driver, number 50, Terry Fennell. Rounding out your field today will be driver that Nelson's number 96 machine. Beautiful paint scheme. And that's going to be Barry Nelson in that 25th position. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, that is your starting lineup here for today at Dover. And let me tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, man, I am so ready to get this race underway. And like I said, please tell me if I need to be louder, if the cars need to be quieter. You know, every which way, every little bit will help to make this enjoyable just for you guys here as we see these drivers getting ready to come out of turn number 4. And we are going to go green flag this time by. As you see, pace car is off. It's in the hands of Andrew Teft and Brandon Sanfilippo as these drivers bring their way down the front straightaway for the first time. We are green flag racing live right here at Dover. And let me tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, still Andrew Teft holding strong on that inside lane. And that 77 Alex Gates trying to make something of it, but not able to get down there as they make their way through turns 3 and 4. Sorry, a little bit early there on that camera. I apologize there. That right there just shows you how intense the speeds are here around Dover. And here comes that 32 machine of Holloman working on the outside of Andrew Teft already, looking for that race lead. And let me tell you what, Blair Holloman, he's an absolute beast around this Monster Mile. Maybe these two go hand in hand. We have the monster, Blair Holloman, attacking. Well, actually, it's actually the Blair the Beast Holloman. That has a better ring to it. Attacking the Monster Mile here in Dover as Alex Gates. He is trying to do the same thing that Blair Holloman did, go around the outside, but not able to get there just yet. So now he's going to look on the inside as he's now attacking on the inside here as he's going to overtake for that second spot. Oh, big looseness there out of Blair Holloman down the back straightaway. And so far, everything is looking absolutely beautiful here. Let's go ahead and go down through the field just a little bit to our first side-by-side action. And that's going to be Curtis Ecker versus Brandon Zimmerman in that number 8 and number 65. Oh, and the 12 is sideways. Brandon Sanfilippo is turned by that number 101 machine. Watch out, everybody, as I believe everybody else escaped from that. But Brian LaPratte in that number 101 machine and Brandon Sanfilippo will bring out the first caution here on lap number 5, coming to lap 6. Let's go back and take a look and see what happened here. Just coming out of turn 2. Oh, the 101 got loose. So Brian LaPratte got loose out of turn number 2 and got down into the 12 of Zimmerman. I'm sorry, not Zimmerman. I'm so sorry. Of Brandon Sanfilippo. Very unfortunate there. Now let's right on board here with LaPratte. As you see, just got just sideways enough. And both drivers did not seem to take very hard hits there. So I believe both of those drivers are going to be just fine. But unfortunately right there, you will see Brian LaPratte fall to the back of the field here. So far, this sounds good. Both your mic and the car sound good. I hope it sounds a lot better than last week because I'm trying my hardest to get rid of the background noise. I'm trying to make it so my voice stands out more, even though I think my voice is absolutely atrocious. And the car sounds are absolutely purring for you guys. Guinea 96 Pig, welcome in. Let's go, baby number 43. Hope you are doing so well.
Hell yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Oh yeah, brother.
Alrighty, Matt Metler has joined me up here in the booth. How you doing, Matt?
Brother, what is going on, man? So happy to be up here. We're on the Monster Mile tonight, concrete racetrack. Sold out field here as always in Racers Elite, and I got the popcorn ready to go.
Yeah, if you're just now tuning in, man, let me tell you what. It has been an absolute blast of a race so far, and we're only 8 laps in now. So, we are now going back green flag racing right here at Dover as everybody will head down into turn number 1.
Single file for the first 2 cars through turns 1 and 2. Now make that 5 cars. The 65 wasting no time there on the top shelf of the racetrack. Zimmerman really knows how to get around this place, if I remember correctly. Oh, big time crash, Mike.
Yeah, big trouble back here in the back. I'm seeing about 5 or 6 cars involved in this one. Actually, even more as we get a meatball from Truth Hoken at number 55 machine. The 92 of Timothy Eisburn. He's around the 11. He's around here as well. Aaron Roth pulling away. Alex Teft involved. The 33 of Alan Wild. He is smoking out the rear. The number 8 of Curtis Ecker. Oh my gosh, that was an absolute huge wreck. Let's go back here and take a look and see what happened. And I believe it might have started all with that number 50 of Terry Fennell. Oh, no, maybe not.
Looked like the 99 truck there, Mike, had a meeting of the minds or a disagreement. He made contact, and once that happened, another truck shot straight up the racetrack and made hard contact with that outside retaining wall. And as you know, Dover doesn't have that much room as far as escape routes go, at least. And once you plug up the racetrack like that, everyone comes piling in there. And it was turned into a junkyard out there on the racetrack. That was a huge one, absolutely, here on the Monster Mile.
Yeah, and this is why we call the Monster Mile for this exact reason. As we see the 92 machine coming flying in here as well, along with the 43. Let's go back and catch up with the 43 and see what happened to Alex Teft here, because he was kind of late to the party. That's a little bit too early, so let's go back here. There we go. Looks like we got Timothy Eisburn right behind him. Yep, he got help, and the 92 got help from the 13, and that's the chain reaction that we expect to see from the Monster Mile.
Absolutely. Miles is hungry, and he's going to eat whenever he wants. And there's a classic example right there as some of the league's, stars, front runners caught up in this one. And as you mentioned, a couple meatballs, that means pretty much your night is over. And some of these other drivers, they have a long road ahead as far as repairs go to get their trucks back competitive.
Yeah, you are absolutely right with that one, and let me tell you what, everything. Oh, give me just 1 second. I am getting instruction. I'm trying to get my sounds right, and I can never get them right, and so I have, I got my girl in chat telling me here what to do, and you're telling me
well, here, let me see if I can help you out there, brother. Well, you work the controls. I can tell you right now, under caution here once again at Dover, under the lights in prime time, at least real time on the sim. That sun is out, that concrete is hot, and Bear Holloman leads the way right now. Is that 32 machine up 5 spots from where he starts. Then you have the 77 of Alex Gates slotting in that P number 2 position. Zimmerman is going to round out your money positions. That's 1 through 3. Then you have Sean Dunaway occupying that 4th place position, while Andrew Teft, though he slid back a couple spots from where he started, currently rounds out your top 5.
Yeah, definitely a very strong top 5, and a lot of these drivers have decided to stay out on this restart. So a lot of them's already coming up as we go back green flag racing right here at Dover. And just like that, Blair Holloman, he's out to a big lead already. While you see Zimmerman and Gates run side by side right there for the 2nd position, with Zimmerman getting a good run on the outside, a little bit loose. And that's what caused the first issue for our first caution, was someone getting loose out of the corner. And so, you know, with your experience here at Dover, Matt, you know, what are your thoughts when you come out of these corners?
You know, that's a great question, Mike. And Dover's kind of unique. One is on the concrete, so it's a lot different the way this takes rubber versus the typical surface we race on, asphalt. When you drop into the corner, you literally drop into a corner. There's a drop, a noticeable one, and depending on how you utilize your throttle on that transition, if you stay in the gas, it'll actually heat up those rear tires. And if you run over a long run, 30, 35, 40 laps, that can really start to abuse that right rear tire. And seeing as how these guys are already loose right now, if you're staying on the loud pedal when you make that drop into the corner, that's only going to make you that more prone to being loose, corner off, like we've seen already. So that's one thing I try to do when I'm at this racetrack. The next gen is, you know, famous for being tight, especially in dirty air. So you can actually use that to your advantage to loosen the car up, but you also have to be self-conscientious of it. If I'm out here right now in the trucks, I'm definitely making sure I am not accelerating when I drop into the corner, because that's only going to enhance that loose condition that seems to be affecting some of these drivers right now. But, you know, I'll tell you what, the top 2, top 3, Holloman, Zimmerman, and Gates seem to have this place figured out. They are single file, and they are turning some of the fastest laps of the evening right now.
Yeah, just a couple laps ago, we saw Blair Holloman lay down the fastest lap. As we ride on board here with Brandon Zimmerman, you know, you could just see those drops that you were talking about. You know, it's very subtle, but it makes a huge difference getting into these corners.
Absolutely does. And let's not forget, on corner exit, you actually have an elevation increase. There's a noticeable jolt up when you come out of the corner. And with those solid rear axles, which you still have in place on the current truck and on the Xfinity car, the next gen's an independent multi-link rear suspension, but you also have to make sure you're not being overly aggressive on the loud pedal on exit, because when you have that transition, the geometry of the truck changes, the suspension unloads, and that makes the rear end light, and that can allow you to light up those rear tires as well. So this track, you really have to pay attention, and you have to be focused each and every lap. If you're not, miles will bite you at any point in time.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I absolutely love that terminology. You are losing that loud pedal. Because let me tell you what, once you get on that gas pedal, man, you can't hear a dang thing around Dover. So I love that terminology, the loud pedal. As we see Zimmerman now trying to work on the inside of Holloman here, but not to no prevail down the backstretch. And now here comes Alex Gates working on the outside, that's 65.
I'll tell you what, these guys are getting ready to put on a show at the point of this race, as it's all Blair Holloman, but it's 2 by 2 for that 2nd and 3rd place spot. The 77 at Gates occupies it. The 65 wants it. He's being very aggressive there, and you've seen him get loose. He had to get way out of it. Driver did a great job of catching that truck. Kinsley Smith also going ahead and making sure he's able to pilot around the 65. It's going to take him a lap or two now to cool those tires. Once you slide them like that, especially in the truck, it turns into an ice rink out there. So the 65 is going to have to just regroup here. He's still in great position, but clearly, there goes to show you right there, if you try to get aggressive, you have to manage that on the racetrack. You do it for a couple laps in a row, and you see what happens. Those tires get really hot, and if not, it can go from a great situation to a bad one, quick, fast, and in a hurry, as now that 65 machine all the way back to 5th place as he was fighting for 2nd spot just moments ago.
Yeah, definitely. You know, that's how quick things can change, you know, throughout these races. You know, for me personally, as we see Gates work at that high side to take over the race lead, and he will clear Holloman in turns 1 and 2. And now here comes your defending champion, Sean Dunaway, also looking on the outside of Holloman. I think he probably used up his tires here just a little bit.
Absolutely. You know, he's out there carrying the torch, and when you're leading at one of these racetracks, especially in a league like Racers Elite, when the competition is just this good, you're going to get up on the wheel harder. You're going to keep your foot in it a little bit longer, and it's easy to use up those Dr. Feelgoods. But check out Alex Gates. Look at the patience and the veteran presence he has displayed on the racetrack. Remember, he was under siege about 5 laps ago, and calm, cool, and collective just got him the lead at a vicious racetrack like Dover, Delaware. That just goes to show you, if you respect the racetrack, it will reward you. And in this case, it's working great right now for Alex Gates as he's up 2 spots to the good, currently in control. However, there's another concrete ace out there, Sean Dunaway, that's going to be nipping at his heels sooner than later as he has solidified himself in P2.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me tell you what, concrete tracks alone are like one of the hardest tracks to save your tires on. So, needless to say, seeing Blair Holloman fall back to 5th already, it's kind of no surprise as he was really, really strong real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think the bleeding is going to stop anytime soon for him, as this, you know, league, at least from what I remember, famous for long green flag runs. And I think that's what we're kind of getting into right now. So if I'm out there on the racetrack, or if I have a crew chief, you know, manage your equipment, manage your tires. That's going to be key here, especially if we run out the remaining Sunoco Racing fuel in the box. Man, that got awful tight. Look out.
Yeah, that was absolutely awful as Kensley Smith had to quickly make a quick decision there to avoid getting into the back of Aaron Roth. And that absolutely slowed his momentum. And Aaron Roth, he is causing a little mayhem right now. He says, you know what, if I can't lead this thing, let me make it fun for him. And let me tell you what, he just did.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's great for everyone watching the broadcast. It's keeping everyone engaged. But I promise you, if you were to key up and talk to the 15, he is not having it right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more with you on that. But everybody was able to get around him. No harm, no foul. As you see Andrew Teff making his way back up into that 4th place position after dropping back to about 6th or 7th on that last restart. So he's slowly making his way up through the field as that 2nd place starter, Brandon Sanfilippo, he's finally got himself into a comfortable position back here in that 8th position.
Yeah, I agree. However, he does have a lot of traffic around him. In fact, look at this Hornet's nest of race cars that suddenly have appeared out of nowhere. He is going to be under siege again here shortly. There is the 99 ride. I believe that was the catalyst that sparked that last huge ordeal on the racetrack. Oh, he almost gets into that 32. There again, now that 12 is going to try to take advantage of that momentum loss on the top shelf of the racetrack. And when you're 2x2 side by side coming off the corner, as a driver, the hair is standing up on the back of your neck because you know how easy it is for bad things to happen. But these drivers doing a great job of managing the way that the truck just wants to come up the racetrack on corner exit and giving each other plenty of room. As this all goes on right now, as these leaders are starting to pull away, the 99 and 12 going to clear this mess. They were a couple tenths faster before they caught this traffic on the racetrack.
Yeah, absolutely. As I had to turn my attention to the battle for the race lead because here comes your defending Truck Series champion, Sean Dunaway, in that Hello Kitty number 01 machine, as he's working the inside of Alex Gates for the past 2 or 3 laps now, unable to make it work. He is now actually going to slip back to the hands of Kensley Smith in that number 15 machine.
Mr. Where did he come from? Kensley Smith currently has hit the attack button, and he has got the dial set to kill as Sean Dunaway has got a mirrorful of that 15 machine. That Chevrolet kind of overdrives that corner a little bit, but he should be able to rally on exit as he's going to try to regain a couple tenths here on the racetrack, right to the back bumper of the 77. Thinks better about threading the needle for 3 wide. It is not okay to 3-way at Dover, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just see which lane Kensley decides to work with here, or is he going to let these 2 guys fight it out and burn their stuff up? I want to see how the 15 plays this, as it's hot and heavy here at the front for the lead.
As you see Alex Gates get into the wall there on the exit of turn number 4, Meatball flag is waving here for that number 57 machine. I'm assuming he made some sort of contact somewhere, but he's got a big issue with his race truck as we come back to our race leaders as they pass Aaron Roth once again. But one thing that Kensley is also really good at is tire management. However, he's going to have to stop conserving because he's got a hungry Andrew Teff, Brandon Sanfilippo, and Alex Teff coming up on his rear bumper right now. So our 3-way battle just turned into a 6-truck breakaway here and battle for the race lead.
I'll tell you what, the HMFIC head cook, chief, and bottle washer of the league, Andrew Teft, in that EcoBoost F-150, also does a really good job at maximizing the longevity of those Goodyear Eagles. And just as you said, he has now asserted himself into this battle, and he has his brother in tow as well. So you may have to battle both the Teft X Factors out there tonight. You have Andrew, and then you have the Alex version in that 43 machine, just a couple truck lengths back. All of this going on, and Alex Gates still managing to hold on to the lead as he's using all of the racetrack. He's really exploring the space right now, trying to find some grip as there's still 2x2 side by side behind him. Kensley Smith cannot complete the pass there on the 01 as he's getting a great run through the center, utilizing that low lane.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys are definitely trying to find grip wherever they can, and it's not often that you see, you know, a race car, race truck, whatever it may be here at Dover, running around the outside by that upper wall looking for grip, but somehow, some way right now, Alex Gates seems to have found something up there because he keeps going up there.
I'd be terrified to do that, but Alex Gates clearly has a lot more confidence, and he's more comfortable here than I am, to say the least. The other thing he's doing, he's also deploying the dirty air on the competition behind him when he's, kind of playing this chess game with these other drivers right now. It's really affecting their turn off, making, for example, Sean Dunaway really to get tight there on exit, and he just cannot give it the business coming off the corner there. However, he gets a great run here. Let's see how they exit. Or is that dirty air going to be the 77 got loose, got into a fence? This could be setting up the 01 into 3 and 4. We're going to have to see how this shakes out. 01 really sends it in there like grandma's business after church on Sunday. It's going to be a John Force special off the corner with the 77 winning that one at the line.
Yeah, definitely good drag race down the front straightaway between Dunaway and Gates. They are still swapping the race lead back and forth as they make their way down the front or back straightaway here. And now your front 2 has a new company, and that's that number 12 of Brandon Sanfilippo, who did get around Kensley Smith, and Alex Teff followed suit. So now we got that number 12, who started up in second, by the way, and got turned early on. You know, here he comes now, knocking on the door once again of your top 2.
Yeah, Darrell Waltrip used to use the term comers and goers, and I mean, there's a great example of that going on right now, especially with all of these newcomers or resurgers coming back into this piece. Oh, the 13 going to make it 3 wide there, not by design, as he's a little bit off pace. These leaders make a good job of navigating around that lap vehicle. But how about Alex Teft? He continues to be impressive, up not 10, but 20 positions. Are you kidding me? The 43 is putting together a masterpiece right now in that Toyota.
Man, let me tell you what, that number 43 of Alex Teft, he usually doesn't, show his nose of his race truck until late in the race. But here we are, only 48 laps in, and he's already knocking on the front door of that second place of Alex Gates. So once again, Alex Teft showing why he's one of the better truck drivers here, and he is looking and running harder for a championship this season. Still, Alex Teft taking over that second position from Alex Gates. And now he's got to work his butt off to get to the back bumper of Brandon Sanfilippo.
Yeah, Sanfilippo has grabbed another gear after he got around the 77 for the lead. And you can see now just how much that dirty air impacts the performance of these trucks. He's already opened up an over a 1 second interval since he was able to clear for that position. Now the 43 has gotten through, and look at him take off. He has increased his lap time by almost 0.2 of a second since he was battling the 77 and the 01. Now the 98 of Andrew Teft going to try and have the same attack these drivers and hopefully navigate through there just like his brother did moments ago, as it's now Sanfilippo at the point carrying the torch, up 21 spots now. It's Teft, the Alex version, in the 43 machine, and second. Gates, your pole sitter, has slid back to third.
Yeah, as we see Zimmerman coming down pit road already. And let me tell you what, coming out of turn 4 last time by, Andrew Teft almost took it nose first into the inside wall, but he was able to gain control over that F-150, and he will lose a spot to Sean Dunaway. But, I'm sorry, that's actually the 92 there of Timothy Eisberg. He was trying to fight to get his laps back, so he actually fell back behind him, but now Andrew Teft is coming back strong as they are running side by side in front of him, and that's going to be Dunaway and Alex Gates.
Yeah, Teft kind of backed off there a little bit to let those good years cool down just a little bit, and now he's making another charge. You can see he's dialed it up inside the cockpit of that race truck, and these guys are still battling really hard. Mike, the only thing that bothers me is these guys up here, in the top 5, they have been dogfighting now the last 15, 17 laps. That's got to be putting a hurting on those tires, as the 98 almost lost it again.
Yeah, you only can... Oh, caution is out. Let's take a look here. It's going to be Joe Bonner in that number 11 machine. Philip Archibald, he came down pit road. Joshua Norton in that number 24 machine. He was involved as well here on the front straightaway. Oh, Brandon Zimmerman in the 65 with the meatball. As you see, he's having trouble turning that truck out of turn 2. So he's going to go ahead and come around the pace truck, and he's going to need to come down and get some damage repaired on that. Let's go back here, take a look, see what happened.
That was rough.
Oh, Zimmerman, he just lost it out of the corner. Goxel had absolutely nowhere to go.
But he was driving a monster truck there.
Oof. Yeah, the 11 trying to get underneath that 24 truck. That's not the way it works, Joe. It's just not the way it works, buddy.
Yeah, typically if you're in that position, that means mistakes were made. And now I've done that myself. It's just the wrong truck.
Yeah.
In fact, you've seen me do that a couple times on the super speedway side of things.
That I have. So this was actually 2 total different incidents here.
That's a great point, Mike.
First with Brandon Zimmerman here getting loose out of turn number 4. And I don't know if the guys behind were just checking up or what, but that's what happened back there behind them. And as you see, Brian LaPratt in that 101 machine getting a little extra damage there on his race truck as well.
Damage not your friend here. And the last thing you want to do is have to deploy that ever so coveted fast repair. However, I'm sure a couple of these drivers have, as we've certainly had some carnage out there on the racetrack. Lights out on that iRacing.com pace truck, or excuse me, back on now, as on my screen that went out for a brief moment. So we're going to have to go at least another time around this place before we go back to the Green Flag Racing. Want to take a moment to welcome everybody here to Racers Elite Network. Make sure you smash the like button, ring the bell, and come home to all the high-flying, high-octane racing action right here on Racers Elite Network.
Yeah, thank you for that shout out. As the lights are now off on that iRacing.com pace truck, and we're going to get ready to go back Green Flag Racing here once again. And let me tell you what, the action has been absolutely phenomenal here today, and I can't wait to see how the rest of this will turn out. And right before they go green flag, let's go take a quick look here and see how let's see here if it nope, full cycle. Here we go. So the best one in and out is going to be Philip Archibald in that number 99. Really great run there for that 99 team.
Great looking paint scheme on that truck too. He's got some loud colors, and green flag back in the air. Let's get back to the boogie here at Dover.
Yeah, back Green Flag Racing. Brandon Sanfilippo chose to run that outside lane here on this restart. He's going to quickly get in front of Alex Teft, and now they're going to run double wide behind Teft for that 3rd spot. And now the action is on for 3rd place between Alex Gates and that number 01 of Sean Dunaway. But don't look now, here comes Ecker and Andrew Teft.
All these drivers on fresh Dr. Feelgoods, and you can see the confidence level is cranked back up to 1,000 here as they're going to get single file here momentarily. Let's see how long they run like this. Not for long, as the 8's going to go ahead and stick his nose into some foreign affairs here underneath that Toyota. Off the corner, though, still single file. Everyone chasing that 12. Looks like that paint scheme inspired by early Ryan Newman back when he was over with Penske. Loving the paint on the 12.
Yeah, always a good looking paint scheme on that 12. And it's working out for him here at Dover. As you see now, your top 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 trucks now single file. But I don't expect that to stay like that for long.
I don't either, unless they've had a sudden change of heart under that pit stop cycle to dial things back, and sometimes that can happen. But that was some intense side-by-side fighting that last run, and I don't anticipate that to just disappear over the course of a couple laps. I think you're exactly right. It's going to crank back up here sooner than later, as it's still, again, Brandon Sanfilippo. He's got almost a second lead over second place. That's currently holding at 9/10 of a second. Then you got to go back 7/10 to the gates, and then it's a hornet's nest after that. First 2x2 side-by-side action is going to be the 0-1 of Sean Dunaway going up against Curtis Ecker in the 8 on the high side, and they still don't have it settled. Mike, what you got to be careful is when you go to execute a pass, you don't want to be side-by-side for too long, because that lets everyone else behind you close in and make themselves a part of the battle.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the toughest things about a track like Dover is the moment you start battling side by side, like you said, that will bring the drivers behind you right up to your back bumper, as we got a pass for the race lead, or I'm sorry, not a pass, but a battle for the race lead between Gates and Sanfilippo. But if you just notice with these two drivers running side by side, just like that, that brought the whole entire field with them. And so now they've got not only those two, but now they got another 10 trucks right behind them, one in that race lead.
Absolutely right. And if you're guys like the 43 of Alex Teft, his brother right on his tail in that 98, when you see that happen and it's like a rare T-bone steak coming off the grill, your mouth is watering. However, it's the other side of the coin. If you're the driver that attempts to make that pass and you can't complete it, whoa, big time contact there.
Yeah, big time contact. Curtis Eckert getting the short end of that stick. He was forced up into the wall out of turn 4, and he just dropped about 3 spots there, and he's going to settle down right now into the 8th position. Hopefully that contact to the outside wall didn't do too much damage.
Getting a report that race control asked him to go up there and take a look at the safer barrier. He just got a little closer than he wanted.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like it's doing better than that safer barrier over at Michigan at the moment from that contact from Christopher Bell.
That was probably one of the hardest hits I've seen in 20 years. I mean, that one, I was scared, I ain't gonna lie. When I saw that car take off like a howitzer into the fence, I just held my breath. That one really rattled my cage.
Yeah, I mean, I bet you could hear that thump against the wall for miles. Because it was such a violent hit, and if nobody has heard the update on that, Christopher Bell does have a fractured left wrist, but he has been cleared by NASCAR to get back behind the wheel this week at Pocono.
That is one tough kid right there. I mean, if this is what safety innovation has done in this sport,
yeah.
You know, and I know we've lost a lot of drivers, or drivers I should say, in the past year, but, you know, if you go back 20 years ago before you had safer barriers, that could have been a much different story for Christopher Bell. And when you see damage to the safer barrier like that, you know it was a violent impact. And it's just great to see him walk away and only come out of there with a fractured wrist. Speaks a lot of testament to NASCAR and the safety innovations, as it's the 77 still. In fact, he's kind of walking away from the show here. He's on a zip code, or as you like to say, an island of his own right now.
Yeah, he's absolutely drinking a pina colada right now, all to his lonesome self around this track. You know, enjoying the hot summer sun and the beach with his feet in the sand as he comes out of turn number 4 to begin lap number 73. Let me tell you what, Gates is absolutely comfortable, and those behind him aren't really starting to gain too much.
Well, no, they're not, and even though they have gotten single file now, and that's what those drivers needed to do if they wanted to have a shot at running Gates down, Teft is kind of starting to separate himself a little bit from his brother. And remember, this isn't the longest track on the circuit. It's roughly a mile long, so the laps are going to click off fast and in a hurry here. And we saw the 43, the last run, the longer it went, the better the 43 got. So let's see if Alex Teft can recreate that magic and go up there and run down Gates. And last time by, he was just a little bit quicker. Let's see if that trend continues.
Yeah, definitely being a lot quicker, as you know, just by even a tenth or two quicker. You know, around a place like Dover, that's a mile. You know, so he has brought down that lead from 1.3 all the way down to just about 1.9. So he gained about a half a second the last 2 or 3 laps now. And I'm continuing to watch. It settles down, and then for a lap or two it picks up, settles back down, and then for another lap or two it picks back up. So we're going to see that drop down to about a half a second probably here within the next couple of laps. Come through the field here and see what kind of action we can find ourselves. As right now, everybody's kind of gotten themselves into a rhythm, and now they're just letting themselves let laps tick down as we're approaching 80 laps to go here at Dover, about halfway in about 3 laps. So right now they're really not, jawing for position at the moment, but this is still great racing right here.
Yeah, you know what? Veteran drivers make veteran decisions out there on the racetrack, and I think that's what we're seeing right now, how this race is kind of changing its complexion a little bit. There's nothing wrong if you're a driver out there to trimming some fat off the board or running some laps off the ticker before you decide to dial it back up again. A lot of the smart race cars, whoa, big time contact. The 88 gets turned into the fence, almost goes over. A mistake there from the 24, just put the nitrous cowboy into the fence, and then he comes up and nerfs him and says thank you.
Yeah, just a little nod of the hat there from that.
Talk about
88.
the broadcaster's curse, man.
Yeah, that 88 of. Go ahead.
Just as I was saying how nice they were being on the racetrack. I mean, couldn't have timed it better. So, Troy, I am sorry. I did not mean for that to happen to you. I'll send you some beer after the race is over.
Sounds like a good date to me. Let's go back here and take a look, see what happened to that 88 machine. Out of turn number 2. Yep. Whoa, look at that truck just lift. Gotcha.
I thought he was going up and over, and that it came down at the last second. And then the nitrous cowboy decided to go up there and high-five the gentleman that helped him out as he went X-Games style here at the Monster Mile. Everyone coming down pit road now as it becomes the hottest place in the facility.
We're just going back here, taking a look at it one more time. Norton actually just got a little bit loose on corner exit, and just from that push, all 4 wheels off the ground. And it thankfully settled back down, and that's going to allow the 88 to continue racing here today.
Tell you what, though, you got to have a little luck on your side after you take a ride like that and you're able to continue on.
Yeah, absolutely. But Troy Thomas down in the 88 machine getting repairs done on his race machine.
I'm on this time to figure out why we're wrecking in the back.
Starting to get a little chippy on the radio here about some of these incidences. And, as a driver, I can understand that. You're in the midst of a good green flag run there, and the caution flag, kind of comes out there and throws a monkey wrench in your strategy as, everyone coming back down, putting tires on their trucks, and then you're going to basically shuffle the deck, stack them all back up, and send it. Whatever, your plan or your strategery was there could have been crumpled up and thrown out the window with that caution. So I can understand why some of these guys being a little bit upset.
Yeah, absolutely. And you saw right there, Troy Thomas getting... Wait, Troy Thomas is getting the EOL on that one. What? Am I seeing that right?
You know what? I'm not race control, so I'm not going to comment on that. But that appears to be the case right now. That's what I'm seeing too as well, Mike.
Huh. Well, on that, wait. Yeah, I think some drivers are also asking for EOLs because I just saw another one pop up, I think. But we're going to get ready to go back green flag race, and Pace's truck is off. It is in the hands of that 24 machine of Joshua Norton and the 77 of Alex Gates as we come around out of turn 4 into the Echo Park restart zone, and we are green flag racing here on lap 83 of 160 laps here at Dover. And quickly, Norton out to a quick early lead as that battle for second is, or third now, fourth now. Wait a second, I don't know anymore. But all I know
confused as you are is they're 4 wide in the back. They are 4 wide coming off of the corner as we got to send it back up front, though. The 24 had a heck of a hole shot, a massive dig on the start. But now with the top end in that motor, that TRD-powered machine. The 43 now takes the lead. And look who's behind him. Monkey see, monkey do. Andrew Teft in tow. Alex boys, it's the Teft show. As Ned Jared used to say, it was the Dale and Dale show. Unfortunately, we just lost him, so why not have the Teft and Teft show right here, right now on Racers Elite Network. The front three have gotten by all the calamity, but now it's the 55 of Truth Hoke, everyone's favorite senior on the iRacing.com servers. He's throwing his hat in the ring. He is up to fit.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out on what battle I want to watch because they keep going 3 wide, almost wrecking, trying to go 4 wide, almost wrecking. Terry Fennell in that number 50, he's going to be around here in turn 3. But coming back to the race in action, again, I don't know who I want to watch at the moment as the 10 gets sideways out of 2.
The iRacing camera algorithm can't figure it out either. It's jumping all over the place. I've had to just pick a spot on the racetrack and manually lock it in. Is now Kinsley Smith is dialing up the pressure cooker on Alex Teft. He wants the piece of the lead. He wants to be out in the clean air. He's going to look outside. The 43 has it covered. He's going to stuff it up in front of him. Kinsley going to have to regroup and find another way around it. He's going to try to slipstream the outside, using the middle, tried to pin the 43 down, and that may work. It's going to be a side-by-side drag race at the line. Does Kinsley have the cojones on the big end of the racetrack into the corner? He is going to clear briefly, but the 43 tried to power back. It's not going to be enough. What a pass and a power move by the 15. That was textbook in the truck.
I am still trying to reel my head from the last 5 or 6 laps. Since we've gone green flag here, Matt, we saw about 5 or 6 accidents that never happened. We saw 3 to 4 wide racing. We've seen it all here in just the last 6 laps. I think it's time to go ahead and pack it up and go home.
I agree with you on that one. There was so much going on there. I didn't know what to talk about. I just had to stay focused on one thing and let everything else happen around me because I would have been tongue-tied and probably in the hospital.
Yeah, one thing that happens to me all the time here as we see Andrew Teft working on the inside of Alex Gates at the moment. You know, one of the things that when racing like that happens, I get so immersed and I forget that I'm a broadcaster. Because first and foremost, I'm a race fan. So when things are starting to heat up like that, my brain just goes from broadcaster to race fan and just get glued.
I'm guilty of doing that myself as well. And that's why I just kind of, I got some things that I do to help keep me in the game and not let that happen. Mainly my grandmother sitting beside me, she reaches up and hits me in the back of the head with a slap, and that lets me know that, hey, start talking about the racing again. She's locked in, ready to go. She's got her Pat's Blue Ribbon, her kernel-free popcorn, and as always, she's rooting on the 15 of Kinsley Smith.
Absolutely, you can never go wrong with that number 15 of Kinsley Smith. He's got it. He's carrying different colors this week, though. Normally he's in that blue Napa, but for me, I'm showing he's in the blue or a red Coca-Cola machine this week.
That's what I'm seeing as well, and it was kind of throwing Grandma for a bit of a loop over there. I really had to reassure her that was Kinsley Smith, but I went ahead, put her glasses on for her. Now she can see that 15 font, and she's rooting him on right now as it's all the 15 machine. Usually it's the Napa know-how man out in front, but he's traded that in for a refreshing Coke on board with him. And that Chevrolet has said, I'm out of here. See you guys on another planet. Almost 2-second advantage over the 43 of Alex Teft.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been an incredible run for the number 15 of Kinsley Smith. You know, I don't think you were here for the first race of the season when he took home the race win over at Indianapolis. And, you know, I talked to him, you know, normally we talk with him, you know, in Victory Lane on Sundays, but he was able to do it a couple weeks ago. I mean, which is no surprise. But he was like, you know, I am tired of being a bystander. He says this season, the championship is going to him. And so far, early on in this season, he's proven to us just why he's going to try to bring home that championship here in the Tuesday Night Trucks.
The last thing you want as a competitor is a determined and motivated Kinsley Smith. He is lethal enough on any given Sunday or any night in Racers Elite competition. Now you've pressed that button, he's got it set to kill. This could be a very long season for some of these guys. You don't want to keep feeding his ego. And what do I mean by that? You're a race car driver. You have to think you're better than everyone else. That's a part of the package that makes a race car driver. The second thing, you're giving him all the fuel he needs right now. Letting him out there leading laps. This type of an interval, if he clicks off a couple wins here in a short amount of time, forget about it. It could be game over.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know, Blair Holloman in that number 32 machine, he just missed the championship the last 2 seasons by a hair from that 0-1 machine of Sean Dunaway. So I can guarantee you that Blair Holloman, he is hungry for as many race wins as he can, but right now he's having a lot of trouble in this dirty air as you see him going up the track, and that's going to allow Brayton Sanfilippo to get around him and the defending champion to get to his inside. So he's actually starting to struggle here 100 laps into Dover. So this is not what the 32 needs today. Now switching over real quick to Sean Dunaway in that 0-1 machine. He's won the last 2 championships. He is looking for his 3rd championship of these race trucks, or of this Tuesday Night Truck Series, I'm sorry. And he is once again showing that, he's still on pace. Yeah, right now he's 8th, but usually he'll be up towards the front by the end of this, and the results is what matters. If you keep crashing yourself out, that's no good.
That's right. You just sometimes, if it's not your race, if it's not your day, staying in it until the checkered flag flies is a huge part of it, so you're not trading those 15th place finishes for 30th place finishes. That could make or break you at the end of the season. You're absolutely right. And another thing too, let's not forget, we're on the concrete today. We're north of the 100 lap mark. This racetrack is starting to rubber up, and the way it transitions is different from the asphalt. So that could be throwing another curveball at these drivers, as clearly some of these guys are searching for speed right now. They still have time to get it figured out. But right now, at the front, it is a runaway. It's all Alex Teff, but Kinsley Smith is starting to bite into that lead just a little bit. In fact, he was the fastest truck on the racetrack, a 23:32 to the leaders, 23:82. So Kinsley starting to hit the afterburner in P2.
Yeah, Kinsley Smith actually just lost the race lead just a couple laps ago. He was up about 1.5 seconds, about 5 laps ago. And then I turn around and I see it pop up saying that Alex Teff took the lead. I'm like, wait a second. Something must have happened to Smith, because right now he's on a downward spiral as he is now losing a lot of time to Alex Teff. Now I'm starting to wonder, did Kinsley decide not to save his tires this run? Because he is actually falling off a lot to Alex Teff at the moment.
Don't quote me on this, but I think Kinsley may have gotten loose, and he had a heck of a slide out there on the racetrack, and that may have cooked those Goodyears. And like we've seen earlier in this race, should you slide this truck, you'd pay a heavy premium in the tire department. It could be just a matter of the 15 letting those tires cool back down for him to be able to kind of work on rebounding. But perhaps you're right. Maybe he drove it a little too hard here in the early going of this run. Perhaps anticipated being another caution, another chance to put some new shoes on the truck, and the race not going in the direction he planned. Still a lot of time left, though. Anything can happen. And heck, you're still in a P2. That's a great place to be. If I was him right now, I'm perfectly happy with that position on the racetrack, as it's currently fast and furious here at the Monster Mile Racers Elite, of course. And fellas, if you're new, make sure you smash the like button to ring the bell. Get notified each and every time Mike and the rest of the guys are live in prime time.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we are here on Racers Elite Network Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. Heck, we even have Monday and Saturday events as well, because we're almost every single night you can find us racing something somewhere, as we take a look here at the 12 Grand San Filippo, trying to get on the inside of Truth Hope for that 5th position here at a turn number 4. You know, and I want to jump back real quick, Matt, to your comment, you know, when you ran off with my comment of consistency. You know, you made the comment of you would rather want to finish 14th, 15th versus, you know, in this case, 25th, which is last here in today's field. You know, and that brings me back to Saturday and Sunday when me and my team, we ran the Majors 24 with the Major Series, and our LMP2 finished in 4th position. Now, the race leader and 2nd place in LMP2, they both got disqualified. And so that brought us up to 2nd in the results. And the only reason why we got there is because, minus our connection issues, we didn't give up after those issues arose. We stayed in it, clicked off positions, got into 4th, and we were happy with 4th, but we got the news today that 1st and 2nd were DQ'd, and that brought us up into 2nd. So, you know, so bringing it back to, you know, being, just run it out. If you're having a bad day, run it out, because you never know what can happen.
That's absolutely right. And I know you and I have seen that time and time again up here in the broadcast booth. And, you know, it's easier said than done. Don't get me wrong. There's been times where I'm just dejected, having a great run, and a misfortune happens, and you're sitting back there in 23rd, 25th, one lap down, and you just want to bring that car truck down pit road and just, or even Alt F4 and just rage quit. Ain't gonna lie. But you have to have the discipline to just stay in it, because it's not over until it's over. And 8 times out of 10, you're absolutely right. You come away with a solid finish, or even get some help from timing and scoring or race control. Something happens, there's a penalty issued, and you know you're inside the top 5, and you would have given that up as, whoa, there was almost contact there between Teft and the 77. Talk about getting up close and personal. He was trying to sit in the front seat with him.
Yeah, I mean, only one passenger per car, guys. There's only the driver. There's no extra seats. Sorry.
Came up there and asked him if he had any Grey Poupon at over 160 miles an hour.
Yeah, probably. But man, let me tell you what, though. You know, as you see, Andrew Teft once again working the inside here of Kensley Smith for 2nd. So again, the Teft brothers, they're coming to life late in this run. And I believe we will need to pit at least one more time before the end of this. But, you know, going back to what we were saying, my team owner, you know, he's got an I rating of over 4,000. And when he gets into these top splits in NIS, he is slow. He qualifies in the back. He's hanging about, you know, 23rd, 24th of the 33 car field or 35 car field. And by the end of it, 99% of the time, Matt, he finishes up in the top 10 to top 13 every single time. Just because he lets people, you know, drive crazy, and he avoids wrecks.
Speaking of driving crazy, Joshua Norton just put a move on the 23. In fact, I think he may have snuck down pit road here on lap 110 and gotten his final stop out of the way. So we're going to have to keep our eye on that as long as he's on the lead lap, and that I cannot see right now at this point in time. But he is definitely driving as hard as he can right now, trying to get through this traffic. These drivers that have been out there, since lap 80 or so. In fact, Kinsley Smith on pit road right now as we speak, the 13 following him in.
Yeah, now these guys have to be paying close attention to their entry on pit road. I say this time and time again. Pit entry is a pain in the rear. Let me tell you what, the transition from this racetrack down into the pits is so obnoxious that getting caught speeding or even spinning on entry, we usually see it at least twice every single race here at Dover, no matter what league I'm broadcasting for. So it's not just these guys, but it's all across the board. So
I'm telling you, you bring up a great point. Sorry to cut you off. Green flag pit stops is probably one of the most overlooked disciplines in iRacing. If you want to get better on the racetrack, practice your green flag pit stops. I promise you. A lot of times, you don't even know how much time you're giving up on pit lane until you actively go out there and practice it. And when you realize, oh my God, I gave up 5-10 seconds. When you wipe that out of the exchange, and guess what? Now you're gaining positions on pit road instead of losing them, and it completely alters what you have to do on the racetrack to go up there and compete for a win. Practice your green flag pit stops. It'll make a huge difference.
Yeah, I just want to point out that 33, he just got a meatball. And I don't think he hit anything, but I believe this might be because he blew a tire as he has trouble slowing that truck down.
Oh.
But able to get it back down into the pit lane area. But I think he blew a tire, and that's why we're seeing the meatball on that number 33.
It looks like his Big Mac wasn't cut out for the job on the right front there, and Olive Garden came a calling with that meatball. So he's going to take it for a bowl of pasta here, and I'm not sure if he can get it fixed or not. We're going to have to see. It could just be him coming down here and eating some breadsticks, and off he goes. We're going to have to see if that's the case. As the jack is up, it is down. Should be 4 tires for the 33, and it is. 2 Kansas Sunoco Racing Fuel, and he is down and away. Olive Garden strikes another day.
Absolutely. Matt, I love you and your freaking, I don't even know what to call them, but man, I love always commentating with you. You always make me chuckle at your comments. And Sophie, down in chat, she says, she's always here for her man, the number 32, and can't forget about us. Guinea Pig says, 43, you got this. So we always love our fans in chat with us as we continue these pit cycle throughs, as we see Chris Gotzel coming down pit road, Sean Dunaway coming down pit road here as well.
Alex Teft in the 43 also on pit lane, and this should be the final stop, the money stop. Also hearing over the radio, the 23 also on his way for service on his truck. This should be for the last time tonight, bar something wild and crazy happens. But folks, we know anything is possible. Even when you think you have the finish of this race etched in stone, I have seen some crazy off-the-wall things happen. And these drivers are starting to smarten up and realize they can't get left out on the racetrack and that far behind, just because the speeds are so different from new Dr. Feelgoods to Dr. Feelbads, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. And, one of the biggest things, as you see Chris Gotzel getting a black flag for speeding on exit, he's going to have to come down and serve a penalty there. One thing that a lot of these drivers got to remember, we got fresh rubber. But you don't want to use them up in the first 5 laps. So run them like you've been running them the last 10, 15 laps. Don't use up your equipment, especially if this is going to be your final laps, as we do come across next time by 4:30 laps to go. And what'd you say about? What did I miss?
I thought I was muted there. I apologize. I know you were talking there, Mike. Just listening to radio chatter, sounds like there was some contact out there on the racetrack between two drivers, but green flag still reigns supreme here, so hopefully we keep it lean, mean, and green. Sanfilippo is going to inherit the lead here as he's currently being scored in that number 1 position. Kirby Wainscott in the 10, currently scored in second, but I believe he still has to pit, and in fact, that's the case for the top 3 drivers. Filippo, Wainscott, and the Nitrous Cowboy have to come down pit lane. When it cycles through, it should be Gates with the lead, with the ferocious Kinsley Smith on his heels in 5th right now.
Yeah, absolutely. As we jump back to that battle here for 3rd place, Barry Nelson got hit with speeding on exit of pit road. And just as you said, this battle between Troy Thomas, Alex Gates, Kinsley Smith, oh, I'm sorry, not Troy Thomas, I apologize, and Alex Teff, that's who I meant. You know, there's only just about a 1 second or 2 second separation between the 3 of them. And let me tell you what, this final run is going to get interesting. So I hope you all have your popcorn ready.
Well, I can promise you this, Grandma, she's been ready. She is rooting. She is a lunatic for the 15. Every time I put her on the main screen, in fact, I got to put my Kevlar helmet on. It's getting rowdy over here, especially as she's looking underneath the 23, trying to grab another position out there on the racetrack. And Mike, don't forget, we are under 30 laps to go. So it's going to be cranked up and wild out as much as it has been all race long, as we are on the downward slope, or I should say the climb to the checkered flag.
Yeah, absolutely. And these drivers are knowing that it is absolute go time. As you see that number 57 of Aaron Roth once again getting another meatball flag. Not exactly sure what happened this time, because I think he just pitted not too long ago, and oh no, it's been a good hot minute. He last pitted back on 78, so he went until his tires blew. Brandon Sanfilippo in that number 12, I think he's praying for a caution, because as soon as that caution comes out, he's got everybody stuck 1 lap down. And I think he's praying for a caution. Everybody else is not praying for a caution. And so this is definitely going to be very interesting as we see Alex Gates come out of turn number 2.
Filippo is going to flip the switch to pit lane on that one. The 12 now on pit road. He was even praying to the voodoo woman named Phyllis out of the water boy for something to happen, to throw a yellow flag. He didn't get that answered, so he's going to bring it down pit road. However, he did have that 1 lap in his back pocket. However, it doesn't take a long time to get around here, just north of 23 seconds or so, give or take. And that should put him, I believe, at least a lap down by the time he completes his stop. He's going to need a miracle to get back in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. As you see Alex Gates in that number 77 on your screens, that notification popping up saying he just took over the race lead, and he did so with a 1.2 second lead over Alex Teff in that number 43 machine, and Kinsley Smith is only 2.5 seconds back from Alex Gates. So there's still definitely plenty of time left here, as we do have 22 laps to go this time by. Now the ultimate question is, who is saving their tires the most, and what kind of advantages can these drivers get to try to reel one of each other in?
You know, I was talking about pit stops, green flag pit stops, and the importance is a 77 just high-five defense there. That might allow the 43 to sneak one in here on the bottom. We're going to have to see how this checks out, and he's going for it. He is full send off the corner. Gates is going to capitalize off the rare mistake of the 77. Before that exchange for position, I was talking about green flag pit stops and the importance of executing. Gates came down on lap 120, spent the least amount of time on pit road, and inherited the lead. So that just goes to show you what being proficient during green flag pit stops can do for you. It got him to lead until he had that miscue with the wall there.
Yeah, definitely. And let me tell you what, it was absolutely flawless on the pit road. As we go ahead and take a look here at... Well, that's not what I was looking for.
I don't know about you, but my timing and scoring just went berserk. And it seems to have gathered itself back up now, as it is week 13 in iRacing, and if you're on the servers, you know what that means. As Alex Teff now has shot out to a 1.80 second lead from Alex Gates. Now that's over 2 seconds. Teff has found the nitrous button in that 43, and he has said, I will see you guys later. I'm out of here. Sprinkled a little Tabasco in the tank on that last pit stop, apparently, and he is lit like a tater chip right now, as he is now almost 3 seconds ahead of Gates. Gates has to be having a problem.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if Gates started using up his equipment real quick there, because this lap, he has lost more than half a second already to your race leader. So he's slipping back, and slipping back pretty fast. But so is Kesley Smith. He's not making any advancements either, as he's trying to hold off the 88, the lap down car of Troy Thomas. You know, as they go 3 wide here out of turn number 4, I believe this is. Or, I'm sorry, turn 2. You know, it's just absolutely crazy to know, you know, who is able to manage their tires better. And today, so far, it seems like it's that 43 machine. He's got it dialed in, and he's rocking around this track.
I think what happened here is Miles the Monster got in the head of some of these drivers, and they went a little bit too hard on the freshies, and they're paying for it dearly right now. Excuse me. The man that didn't, the 43, is, I cannot believe this, almost 4 seconds now for that Toyota. What are they putting in the fuel on the final pit stop in that thing? Because it is absolutely ludicrous fast right now.
Yeah, out to a 4-second lead now over Alex Teft. Blair Holloman, he's just lost a position here to the 0-1 machine of Sean Dunaway. So he's fallen back to the 6th position, I believe, 5th position, something like that, 5th or 6th, 5th.
I am sorry for this, but I am dumbfounded at the speed of the 43. Don't even look at your telemetry. Don't look at your timing and scoring. It's over 5 seconds now. And it's not a performance problem necessarily for Gates, because he's still ahead of Kensley Smith, and they're running relevantly the same lap times. The man on another planet right now is Teft, the Alex version, is he's running 24.56s to 25.09s right now. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, Alex Teft right now in that number 43 machine. He is absolutely dominating Miles here today. He is not letting anything slow him down. Heck, I don't even think if the caution were to come out, that would even slow him down. But here we are, closing in on 10 laps to go. Alex Teft, he's now out to a 5.7 second lead over Alex Gates. And let me tell you, yeah, you're just, I don't know what's in that. Whatever they did to that race truck this last pit stop, they definitely going to need to inspect it post-race.
Someone needs to tech that 43 when this race is over. Now, I know it's a fixed setup, so it's impossible to find anything wrong with it.
He's got the grip packs. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
They don't exist. It's not a thing. We squashed. I have too. I could have used them. As it's now 6 seconds for Alex Teff. And you want to talk about a flex. I mean, I know the marketing slogan says for Toyota, let's go places, and he has set it to the front and it just jettisoned from the competition. But this right here, what was I saying earlier about the last time I used to broadcast these races? Alex Teft used to just do these unbelievable things out there on the racetrack at times, and this is one of them. Up 22 positions, and this guy has just got this place figured out. I haven't seen that truck slip once since I've had the camera fixated on him, and now it is over 6 seconds, 6.30 at the line. The Magic Man dominating late here at Dover.
Absolutely, and I hope you guys have been enjoying Season 15 of the Truck Series. Because let me tell you what, when we started this, we were only working season 11. That's how fast Alex Steff has been the last 10, 20, 30 laps of today's race.
Yeah, my jealousy meter is pegged right now. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
That is impressive.
Up to 6.6 seconds and still growing here, ladies and gentlemen. Kensley Smith, he has slipped back to 4th. Sean Dunaway snuck his way up here into the top 3. And he is just about 1.3 seconds back from Alex Gates. So let's see here what Dunaway can do in the final 5 laps, as we're going to focus our attention now here on this race for P2, because, well, we'll talk to Alex after the race, because we already know he's going to win it. But
don't say that. Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
And Alex Steff, no, I'm kidding.
If he puts that thing in the fence, I'm leaving the broadcast. I'm telling you right now.
I am too. If all of a sudden this just goes dead air, you guys know why. It is all Matt's fault. Okay?
Just blame me. That's what everyone does. It's okay. I accept it. As we're just now 3 laps from waving the checkered flag. In fact, next time by, the green flag goes down and the popsicle sticks are going to go up there, Mike.
Yeah, let me tell you what, though. Here comes Alex Steff out of turn number 2. Still tracking down that 23 to put him another lap down, as our flagman Barney up in the flag stand, he's holding up those popsicle sticks. 2 laps to go, 2 miles left for Alex Steff in that number 43 machine.
Now I know who ate my bomb pop here in the pits.
Yeah, let me tell you what, Alex Steff has put on an absolute clinic. He has opened up the lead by 8 seconds over the other drivers here, as he comes across the line, a white flag in the air for Alex Steff in that number 43 Racers Elite Toyota. As let me tell you what, he has done a phenomenal job. Less than a quarter mile left here for Alex Steff, and out of turn number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, your round 3 race winner is going to be Alex Steff in that number 43 machine. As we jump back here to this battle for second, Brandon Sanfilippo came out of nowhere. He's going to come home second, and that's going to push Sean Dunaway out of your top 3 and put Sean into 4th, and Alex Gates back in that 3rd position.
You know what? The champ doing what he needed to do there, comes home with a solid top 5. That's how you win championships versus runner-ups right there. So great run, even though by Sean Dunaway, but the man currently of the hour is the magic one in the 43 Toyota, Alex Steff. Where did he get that speed on the last run from? That was almost biblical, as he's going to burn the house down, get the rest of the good off those Goodyear, buddy. You don't need it anymore.
Wow.
Clearly, you never needed it to begin with. I mean, that was some performance there by Alex Steff as he burns it down at the start-finish line.
I'm sorry, we just went back and watched that pass for the for that second spot. Brandon Sanfilippo did a phenomenal job there, as we finally catch up here to that number 43 of Alex Steff, burning it down here on the front straightaway. Matt, when you get a moment, go back, watch the white flag lap with that battle for second. Trust me, you ain't going to be disappointed in that.
I'm doing that as we speak right now, brother.
But ladies and gentlemen, Racer Elite's very own Alex Steff will bring it home first, over 7.5 seconds over your second place driver, Brandon Sanfilippo. And Alex Gates in that number 77, he will bring it home third. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and take a look at your race results. I always do that. Wrong button. They give me too many buttons here in SDK, I'm telling you.
I'm
All
so
right.
I'm so fired up from that finish. I can't hit the right buttons right now either.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here is your. Wait, that is definitely not the right truck series.
Here, I think I can help you out if it's giving you a problem there, Mike, if that's okay. You know who your winner is. The Magic Man, Alex Teft, is going to come home P1 in this one. Great performance from the 77 of Alex Gates. He's going to slot into that second place position. And rounding out your top three, who you'll hear from here in just a moment, is Alex J. Gates. Sean Dunaway and Blair Holloman round out your top five, or excuse me, that's your top five. Kinsley Smick's going to come home in that sixth place position, while Curtis Eckert rounds out your top seven. Kirby Wainscott is going to come home eighth. Great recovery drive for Wainscott. Philip Archibald comes home ninth, and rounding out your top 10 is Frank Chavez.
The number 11 of John, or the number coming home 11th in that number 42 machine is going to be Jonathan Stidham, followed by Andrew Teft will bring it home 12th. 13th goes to Troy Thomas, Alan Wild 14th, and Joshua Norton will come home 15th. 16th is going to be Chris Gotzel, followed by Timothy Eisberg. What a good recovery race for him. Aaron Roth will come home 18th. 19th, Joe Bonner. Truth Hope will round out your top 20.
Robert Garcia is going to come home 21st, while Brandon Zimmerman, not having the end result he was looking for. That's going to be good for a 22nd place position finish. 23rd belongs to Terry Fennell, while Brian LaPlatte comes home 24th. 25th belongs to Barry Nelson, rounding out your 25 drivers that took the initial green flag here today at Dover, but only one can conquer the Monster Mile, and we will hear from him in just a moment.
Absolutely, and if you guys are looking at your race results screen right now, your hard charger, the most laps led, and your fastest lap, they all belong to the man in orange, Alex Teft, in that number 43 Chicken Coop Racing Toyota.
Jock.
You know, we went 160 laps today. We only had 3 cautions today. I think it's 3
That's all
cautions.
I'm tracking on my end there, boss. 3 cautions per incident. And at a place like Miles the Monster's backyard, that's really impressive.
Definitely, as you know, I normally see double-digit cautions here at the Monster Mile, and today we only saw 3, which is a big, huge accomplishment. But let's go ahead and talk with our possible top 3. I know Alex Gates, he normally doesn't pop up for interviews. Give me 1 second. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. This is the one I want to show. All right. Let's get over to our booth here. Alex Gate. Oh, he is in here. How about that? All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and talk to our third place finisher, driver of that number 77 machine, Alex Gates. Alex, it's Mike and Matt up in the booth. Do you got a copy, sir?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Man, Alex, what a great run for you today. Started back at that third position. You hung out in the top 5, top 10 good majority of the day, and led some decent amount of laps today. How was your race overall? And man, what could you have done different in the final closing laps?
Yeah, I say overall the race was pretty good for me. Missed all of last season, so it's good to know that I can miss a whole season, possibly 2, and actually be able to still be competitive when I come back. And yeah, I was thinking about it. I saw Alex Teft in the on the scoreboard in the little black box, and he was just creeping up on me so fast after that last round of pit stops. And biggest thing I would have changed is just I pushed it way too hard in the beginning after those pit stops. I was more worried about getting those 2 laps back in case caution came out, and I just burnt my right front with, I think we had like 30 laps to go still, and I was already hurting. So got a little too excited, but hey, it's only the 3rd race of the season, so we got plenty of time to make it up.
Yeah, absolutely. And you being wicked fast this week, it's definitely going to carry on throughout the remainder of the season. Matt, You're a lot better at these interview things than I am, so let me go ahead and send it over to you.
Brother, that is not the case, but I will definitely pick it up for you. Alex, it seemed like that was the case from up here in the booth, and I don't think it was just you that kind of fell into that trap, courtesy of Miles the Monster. What makes a place like Dover, when you're in crunch time, the money stop just coming out of pit lane, what makes it so easy to overdrive the truck? Is it just the fear of the caution coming out, or is it a combination of that and the competition on the racetrack that can make you just overstep it just a little bit like that?
I think it's definitely a combination of both, because if you're 2 laps down and that caution comes out, you can kiss your chance of winning the race goodbye. And then with this field, everybody is pretty evenly. We're all strong in some sort of way, so it's very competitive throughout. So you always got to be on your toes, because you never know when one of us just pushes a little too hard trying to catch the other, and then they spin out. Or like Dover is just a good track for that person, so he knows how to run the top lane without burning the tires and run the bottom lane. Like, he's diverse in all the lanes, which can be a huge threat. I think you just got to be careful not to. You got to run your race. You got to get everything in your mind off to the side and just run your race, and not be the one that overdoes it.
Alex, spoken like a true veteran of this racetrack, and it's concrete on top of it, so that in itself makes it a little bit of a different animal from your typical week-to-week racing on the asphalt. But hey, at the end of the day, still, pardon me, a great day for the number 77. You started up front, you kept it up there, you put on a thriller while you were leading. Some of those battles were intense on the racetrack, and at the end of the day, you come home with a solid podium. Before we cut you loose, who do you want to thank who helps you get it done on the 77? The floor is yours.
Thanks, guys. I want to give you guys a huge shout out for always making the broadcast fun to watch and listen to while I'm doing the race. My family's always commenting on it. Want to give Andrew a huge shout out for putting these races on, and Truth Hoke for doing my paint job with the Marine Corps paint job. It came out really, really good, and I'm grateful that he did that for me, because anytime I can rep the Marine Corps, I always take that opportunity. Give my family a huge shout out for tolerating me doing these races on Tuesday nights, and then the Hunter Lopez Foundation, who always supports me throughout the races.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Gates, not afraid of Miles the Monster, as he was ferocious and on the attack all night long, comes home with a solid P3 finish. He'll come out of here with a great points day. Sending it back up top to you, Mike.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was Alex Gates in that 77. Let's go ahead and bring up your runner-up driver, the man taking it 3 wide for P2, Brandon Sanfilippo in that number 12 machine. Brandon, man, what was it like coming out of, I think that was turn 2, sticking it 3 wide in the middle to come home second? What was going through your mind?
Yeah, I knew I had to take that opening, or else I'm probably going to get stuck with third. So once Alex went high and Dunaway stuck to the bottom there, I knew I had to take the middle, and I could probably be even with them on exit and have the momentum with my tires. So did that, said a prayer, and just kept it straight and kept it going.
Yeah, that prayer definitely kept you in it. And let me tell you what, you got one heck of a run there on both of those drivers, bringing it home second. Overall, Brandon, I know you had an up and down day, got spun out. Then you had to work your way up through the field. What was it like coming back up through the field and avoiding all the chaos to come back up to second?
Yeah, avoided some wrecks, which helped because I didn't uncheck my fast repair early on, so I used it, which probably was a good thing because I never got in a wreck after that. But yeah, it was just, I took tires after 10 laps, so I knew I was down a set from everybody else after that first wreck. So when it came to that last pit cycle, I knew if I pitted about when Alex did, I could fight for him for the lead, but I'd have no tires left and he wouldn't either. So if a caution came out mid-run after that, I would sink to the back because everybody else would have tires when they pitted. So I'm doing good in the point, so I just played it safe and stayed out. That way, if there was a late caution, I'm still going to have pretty fresh tires and I'm going to be up at the front. So I was thinking if I stayed out no caution, top 5 at the best, but man, it just took off and gripped really well at the end of that race there with those fresh tires. So definitely happy with P2.
Yeah, definitely. What a great run for you. Matt, do you got anything for your runner-up, Brandon Sanfilippo?
Talk to me about coming down to that finish of that race. I know we had the camera pointed a little bit elsewhere up near what was going on with the 43 and the insane speed he had at the end of that run. Where did you get the lug nuts to put that move on the competition? Walk me through that big time pass in that critical moment on the racetrack. Were you confident you could pull it off? And what was it like after you got through there?
Yeah, so I took tires. I think I had like 25 laps left. So I started sticking to the bottom a little bit. I didn't want to just burn them right then, but I knew I could get the most speed about 1.5 lanes up the track. So with about 15 to go, I saw the relative. I was catching them pretty decent with me just hugging the bottom. So then I just unleashed the tires and took off those last 15 laps, and it was just knocking down the relative left and right. So I knew that I was going to catch that group. It was just a matter of even with that difference in tires, sometimes if someone's hugging the bottom or they're a lane up, you get really, really tight on exit when somebody's to your outside. So I really had a hard time like getting back truth earlier in the race. It makes your car really, really tight. So that's what I was worried about. But I mean, once I got up there, I mean, I saw Sean just running the bottom, and I didn't think he was going to change. And I saw Alex Gates running the top, and I didn't think he was going to change with how worn his right front was. So I knew the middle was going to be open. So I was planning on that once I got up there, and sometimes you just got to take it.
Tell you what, I need this guy on my pit box. He's so calm, cool, and collective about that move. I was sitting there watching it after the race was over, and I'm going, he's throwing it in there Bon Jovi style, living on a prayer. Not the case as we talked to him now. He knew exactly how it was going to work, calculated and decisive. Last lap magic from Brandon Sanfilippo as he comes home with a solid P2 effort. Before we cut you loose, man, who do you want to thank who helps you bring it home on the 12th?
Yeah, all my family and friends who watch every week in and out and support. My parents, my fiance Lindsay, my cousin John, my cousin Joe, cousin Sean, the Carosas, the Shoe Flows, my Aunt Frosty, and I got a lot of people who tune in and watch. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys in the booth. Can't wait to go back and watch that one since it was truly a back and forth, just a lot of action packed race there. Andrew for putting on the league and my racing team. So we did pretty well. Alex Gates picking up P3, Kensley in the top 10. So yeah, good race for us overall, and looking forward to next week.
Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. Brandon Sanfilippo dials up the excitometer in the closing laps of this race, pulls out some biblical magic with the parting of the Red Sea, if you will, finds the way through the mayhem, and comes home to a solid P2 finish, sending it back topside to you, Mike.
Absolutely. Congratulations once again, Brandon, and we'll see you next week, buddy.
All right, thank you. Take care.
Ladies and gentlemen, now it is time to talk to the Magic Man himself, Alex Teff, driver of that number 43 Racer Elite Toyota. Alex, man, up 22 spots, getting caught up in a wreck. And here you are pulling out to pretty much a whole different zip code compared to everybody else. What was the difference between that second to last pit stop and that last pit stop? Because like Matt said, they must have put some like Tabasco sauce or something in that gas of yours, because you absolutely just fired off like it was nothing.
Yeah, no, definitely at the end of the race there, I just wanted to build up a decent gap, and those guys had short pit, so I figured I wanted to stay out a little longer to get the tire advantage for when I came out, and just hope that it would get caught up in some traffic, and I think they did a little bit, so that helped a lot. But just mainly throughout the race was just focusing on running that bottom line. I seemed to be able to hold it down there longer than most people throughout the run. So if you ran up in that high lane for 5 or 6 laps in a row, your tires are pretty much just smoked. So just give the tire wear down and just being consistent. And yeah, I know I was, after that early wreck, I had come in, took a set of tires, so I was a set short. I think Sanfilippo was also on the same strategy, and we both drove up to the field And so after that final pit cycle, I was just really hoping that there was going to be no caution because I would have been screwed at that point. But no, it's definitely a fun race. It's fun driving up to the field, and yeah, the thing was just hooked up and got to victory lane.
Yeah, man, definitely just really good finish. I'm just absolutely impressed. Once again with your performance, up 22 spots. Matt, I know that you are over there absolutely jonesing for the performance out of Alex Teft. Let your jealousy and your excitingness just come out, and let's throw it over to you, Matt.
First of all, jealous you could do that, my friend. And let me tee this one up for you. So I jump on the broadcast. You're coming up through the field, and I'm like, Mike, the last time I called one of these series on a weekly basis, Alex had this magic ability to just do these tremendous acts of greatness on the racetrack at certain times. And I said, he might have one in store for us tonight. Fast forward 50 laps later, here you come. And I mean, you are like a man on a mission, all-wheel drive at 1,000 horsepower under the hood of that truck, immune to tire wear. And I mean, I'm just watching the gap explode a second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. I checked out of the broadcast. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. How did you get that type of performance out of that truck for so long and put on a dominating, classic beatdown of the entire field to bring that one home? I mean, that was probably the most impressive drive I have ever seen out of you, and I've seen some great ones, but this one here tonight, man, bravo, dude. I could never do that. Tip of the hat to you. What a way to just hit the button when you needed to. That was beast mode. How did you pull it off?
Like I said, it was just that tire saving. And I feel like it was mainly the first 10 or so laps of each run, especially on the restarts. With everyone side by side, you can't go anywhere. So I was just really focused on letting off real early and getting to the bottom and just, not trying to put too much power down and, skating the tires up. Because you would get these big runs, but with people side by side, you can't go anywhere. So I figured just really focus on saving that tire so when you get the opportunity, you can take it, not use up the stuff too much.
Thank you for that analysis and breakdown. I still don't believe you 100%. I'm going to have to keep my eye on you. But before we cut you loose and let you go, who do you want to thank? Who helps you get it done on the 43 with such a clutch performance here tonight at Monster the Miles backyard?
Yeah, definitely want to thank you guys in the Races Elite Network booth for putting on the broadcast, and thank the elite stuff, Races Elite. Thank my friends and the viewers that watch the time. Got to thank the Chicken Coop. I think we had some handful of cars in the top 10 there, so good run by us again. And then thank my parents and my wife.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. The Magic Man is back in Racers Elite competition as he goes and engages the flux capacitor and takes off like a man on a mission, destroys the competition with over a 7-second margin of victory. That is the one and only Alex Teft. Sending it back up top to you, buddy.
Absolutely, Alex. Congratulations, buddy, on your race win, and we'll see you next week.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely.
I still can't get over that drive.
Yeah, absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, next week we are heading to Charlotte Motor Speedway for 105 heart-pounding laps around that 1.5 mile speedway. And let me tell you what, if you guys thought today was interesting, next week it's going to be a whole different story, as there is multiple race grooves, good times for 3-wide action, and a lot more slipping and sliding out of turn number 4. Matt, before we head out today, what are your final thoughts of today's race here at Dover?
Well, first and foremost, I got to say thank you to Andrew Teft for having me back up here in the booth again. It's been a fun couple days being back covering all the high-flying, high-octane racing action with you guys. I've got to say thank you to you as well. Always a pleasure being up here in the booth with you. Always have a great time. And I think, the interviews said it best right there. Just a lot of excellence on the racetrack. Only 3 cautions per incident. From my experience, it's usually double digits, just as you said, but not with these guys here in Racers Elite. They kept it under 5, which is incredible. Only 3. And when the nighttime was the right time, Alex Teft put a whooping on the competition. And I'm sorry, that's what it was. Magic Man showing up and just dialing up the excitement through the stratosphere here. And cannot thank everyone that makes this series possible, all the partners, sponsors, series contributors. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. And as you walk down the road of life this week, ladies and gentlemen, do us all a favor. Don't play in traffic. And we'll see you next time right here on Racers Elite Network. Good night, everybody.